these days in the music. It seems like everybody's about getting all their stuff out, and then it's like if they really are paying attention to what just happened or not, or if they're really like lining up, if they've already established a certain common sense of time or not, it doesn't matter. I'm here to play the stuff I'm going to play. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with that. And I think part of the problem is, that a lot of band leaders sort of hire the same people. And what that does is that it sort of frames this situation as like hired guns, so to speak. I mean, and that's that's the way you walk into the situation. There's so many albums that people are making with the same people on them. I mean, I would love to hire certain guys that I won't name, but the reason why I won't do it is because I see them on everybody's record. I still love their playing, but then it's going to make my record sound, because jazz, so much of it has to do with improvisation, right? It doesn't matter who's composing. I mean, hopefully the composer and the composition is great. That's a given, let's say, in our situation, that it's a certain level, at least, great, whatever. But if it's a certain level, then really what the next level is who is playing the composition. And in jazz, it's always been, 40-50% of the players in the band that are really giving voice, let's say, to the music. Now, if I hire the top gun, the top drummer that are on so many records, sure, it would be exciting for me, and it might be kind of cool to hear him on my tunes, but what is that really saying in the evolutionary aspect of jazz, if that's the person who's being hired on so many records? And that goes for like trumpet, guitar, piano, bass, drums, all those instruments. If you see the same cats all the time, I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's probably happening a little less now because there are a lot more younger folk in the town. But back in the day, it's sort of like, Sonny Rollins had his band, and Coltrane had his group, Miles had his groups, and everybody was playing in different groups, but the music was different. It was being created, like it was actually being created for the first time, and now, we do our best to keep up with that, but in reality, no one's really creating anything brand new. We're adding something to what's been created from, I mean, you can take it all the way back to Louis Armstrong, but you continue with, let's just say we cross the modern jazz line and get into bebop, and then you get into the late 50s, 60s stuff, which composers like Monk and whatnot, and all these great composers started writing new music, and then you get into the 70s, and that's kind of where it seems to have redone it. It seems to have like gone full circle, and now we're trying to add things to all that, whether consciously or not. It's not like I want to just add my little 2% to the 70s or the 60s or the 50s, but regardless of what I want, I think even if my music comes out sounding somewhat fresh, you could always say, oh yeah, remember this record in the 60s? That kind of resembles a little bit of what they were doing. I'm glad, you added to that, but, but back then it was like brand new. It was like, right, wow. I get it. So it's a little different now. I mean, I think people are basically, things are starting to sound stagnant a little bit, and it has been for many years. Now, of course, you'll get the few people who come out with some really cool stuff, and then it shakes you shake your head, say, "Wow, that's great, good for them." But this is kind of the improvisations are starting to sound similar, and therefore the records are starting to sound similar.